Happy new moon, Cosmic Seekers. Happy new moon in Aries with a bunch of other planets and players in Aries. I suggest you check one of the links in the description, which takes you to the new moon in Aries page for the Moon Journal website, which goes a bit into the aspects and how that energy will be felt collectively and personally. Since there's so many planets in Aries, some of them are in the earlier degrees, some of them are in the later degrees. You're going to want to check your own chart because that's it impacting most likely two of your houses, so two areas of your life. And you're going to want to check out which aspects they're forming to your own natal chart if you're at that level on your astrological journey. Otherwise, take it one step at a time. Check out the page out of curiosity. Keeping in theme with the energy of Aries, let me see if I can make this a quick one. That'll be a nice little challenge, which so far I believe I'm failing as a Gemini. So, for those of you that have the Moon Journal and you go into the Aries section, I'm just going to go into a little bit of this, how you may be able to work with this energy, a few tools, etc. If you'd like to learn more about what the Moon Journal is, if you're just finding this video for the first time and you don't know what that is, the Moon Journal, I suggest you check out the New Moon in Aquarius video, which is the first video in this series, which I go in a bit more detail about the purpose of this journal. So with all that being said, let's begin. So, Aries, the energy of the warrior, ruler of fire, as it is a fire sign. In the section that opens up the journal, you'll see warrior walking on fire with a sword, which Aries does rule weaponry and sharp objects. So be careful this Aries season with so much in Aries. I've already heard a couple stories of a few mishaps with sharp objects. So this is an image that you can use to meditate on your inner and outer warrior, I would say, because when it comes to meditation, we're going within, but Aries is an external energy. So you're going to want to visualize on the external level that warrior energy and that combination and balance of both the masculine and feminine energy. So the quote for Aries: in the sacred fire of Aries, I ignite courage and purposeful action. So then on the resources page, you'll see the lunar phases for the month, starting with the new moon in Aries and going into Taurus season in case you want to work in a more short-term cycle. As you know, if you've been watching the series, these cycles from new moon to full moon in Aries, for example, is a 6-month journey. But if you want to work within a shorter time period within a lunar cycle, I have the key dates here for each phase and the energy that pertains to that cycle. Moving along to the materials workshop, this is where you can activate the moon cycles, whether it's the new moon in Aries or the full moon in Aries, or anywhere in between, whether you're working with a shorter or longer term cycle. So I don't know if you can hear it in the video, we'll see, but there's birds chirping outside that I can hear. You know, Aries being the ruler of spring. So I put that here, season early spring. Whatever that means to you. If you want to pick flowers or seek some nature objects that are outside, you can do that to work with. The stone or one of the stones for Aries is one of my favorites, which is carnelian. And what I love about this one in particular is this formation of crystal is known as a flame. So this is technically a carnelian flame, which goes so fittingly with Aries, which is partially why I chose it. But I love the deep red colors. Other stones like garnet also pertain to Aries. Or again, whatever association that you have with Aries. As I've mentioned before, These are just suggestions, and this is just a small list. Each category has other options. For instance, the herb being cayenne, but there are other herbs that can be Aries like, and that's pretty much my point. That these are just suggestions. Whatever you associate with Aries, whatever your subconscious associates with Aries, is what's gonna bring in that power for manifesting, for your ritual, ceremony, etc. However it is that you're wanting to activate this new moon cycle. I also have here, for instance, dragon blood, which is the oil, the scent that I put. This is a sage covered in dragon's blood oil. And I love that red color, deep red color. As you can tell, that's how I designed this section of the moon journal, red being the color associated with Aries, associated with blood, with passion, etc. All things associated with Aries. You can also light a red candle and set your intentions on it. Light it during your meditation, etc. The tarot card associated with Aries is the Emperor. So you see him there confident in a position of leadership on his throne, able to take action. Aries being a very impulsive sort of energy, but the key is to try to balance it with more, I guess, a little bit more harmony in order to have it be a more controlled leadership, which is the position that the Emperor is in, instead of one of being in battle, for instance. You can also work with the Tower card, which is ruled by Mars, which is the planet that rules Aries, and this being one of the most feared, scariest tarot cards, um, it's still a necessity in our lives. It's what gives contrast. After the Tower card, I believe comes the Star card, which is a card of hope. So those tower moments, Mars being the planet of destruction, as you see two people falling over, goes into the Aquarius card, the Star card, which are in natural harmony. Aquarius and Aries sextile each other. There's a complementary energy there. We need these tower moments in order to pave the road to those star moments. And then if Oracle is more of your thing, just an example deck that I've been using is this moon deck. And then here's the new moon in Aries. Again, red, very Martian-like. And the prompt is, go for it. What are those goals? What are those things that you want to manifest into your reality? Go for it. Aries is all about taking action, not about overthinking things. What are those goals? As we go on to the next page, I ask you to look deep within, and actually, maybe not so deep within. Just look within, and those first things that come up, that's what's asking to be let out during this Aries season, during this new moon, and during this 6-month cycle. Moving along, you can also work with the metal iron or the wood ash. Another thing, for instance, the chakra that is ruled by Aries is the root chakra, all about survival. You can do a root chakra meditation, and you can combine some of these things. For instance, light up some dragon's blood sage or dragon blood incense or oil, light a red candle, have a carnelian, hold a carnelian next to you rather, etc. Another thing you can do is work with the sigil. If you've been following along in this series, you'll know that I've been creating, or that I created sigils for each sign throughout this journal, and I combined, and for instance, in this one, the sigil for the planet Mars, the sigil for the Aries, or the sign of Aries, and the alchemical symbol for the element of fire. Combine them all together to create what I call the warrior. Kind of see this sigil of Mars kind of like a sharp spear or sword or even an arrow, just some sort of weaponry that's being directed towards the reality you're wanting to create, kind of like piercing um, through those walls that are the barriers that we let stop us, because really it's ourselves that are stopping us from activating and from initiating and from receiving and going after what it is that we want within our lives. So that being said, the to activate the sigil during the new moon, there's this prompt over here, or um, this text that you can recite. Through fire I ignite, through Mars I claim my will, through Aries I initiate and drive this intention forward. You can write that within this journal, within one of your other, let's say, daily journals. You can draw this sigil on vellum paper and keep it with you for the next 6 months, or however you feel or you see fit, whatever your intuition tells you. And you can also write this text with it. To close it, we'll get to that part during close the cycle during the full moon in Aries. Moving along, we go to the new moon and full moon section, which I'll get to this one on September 26th, later this year, 6 months from now. But for now, we'll focus on the new moon in Aries. And if you have your moon journal, you'll see the QR code, which takes you directly to the new moon in Aries page on the moon journal website. So again, this new moon is at the 27th degree of Aries. And a little bit of text that I have here for that new moon in Aries, I'll just read it very quickly. New moon in Aries ignites a cycle of initiation, courage, and self-discovery. This lunation invites you to step forward boldly, claim your desires, and act in alignment with your authentic will. It is a powerful time to set intentions around independence, momentum, leadership, and beginning something that requires confidence and decisive action. So that gives you a little bit of detail of some of those things that you can carry into your intention setting for this new moon. And so I give an intention example. So, for instance, I set an intention to move forward with the courage and confidence by initiating a new path that honors my desires, independence, and inner drive. So then in this section, you're just going to write down the current themes that are playing out for you currently. 1 to 3 words that set the emotional tone of what's playing out currently. And then over here in this section, you're going to want to set your intentions for this 6-month new moon cycle. And I have a note here for advanced students of astrology to notice which house this lunation is activating in your chart. So what I've been doing in my own journal is I've been placing the aspects that the new moon are creating within my own natal chart and which house it's in for me. And then I do, bullet points of the intentions I'm trying to set with this energy in mind. And then I check off the boxes. Is this intention within my agency? Does this align with my values? And am I willing to take action? Especially for this new moon in particular in Aries, all about that external energy, the divine masculine energy. It's all about taking action. When we think of manifesting and setting intentions, we think a lot about the feminine principle of receiving, which is a very important part. But I believe that balance of masculine and feminine, it requires that divine or aligned action, taking that aligned action to move towards those goals or those intentions that we're setting. With all that being said, the quote that I have at the bottom is, as you know, as you finish this, is I welcome courage and authentic self-initiation. And as I'm doing this along with you, for those of you that have the Divine DNA Moon Journal, I've been really liking writing this all down in such an organized way, and I can't wait till the full moon in Aquarius, when when it becomes 2 entries per month. Right now the first 6 months is all the new moons, and then we have to wait for that 6 month journey. So that first one that'll finish will be the full moon in Aquarius, being that this journal started with the new moon in Aquarius. But I've really been liking so far having putting everything down, laying it down, and setting those intentions. And I'm really curious to see how, once the full moons start and this becomes a 2 month or 2 time per month journal entry sort of routine, how that's all gonna align and how I can tweak things from there. But yes, for those of you that have the journal yourselves, I hope that you've been enjoying the experience thus far as well. If you don't have a Divine DNA Moon Journal and you're interested in one, please check out the link in the description of this video. If you like this sort of content, anything astrology related or esoteric related, esoteric subject related rather, same thing. Check out the link. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you the next new moon in Taurus.